Make a donation so I can take this to the big screen with Adam Sandler and all his friends. sucessstudios@gmail.com. Sixth Sense Summary. The story follows John N.C. Fuller, a high school student that after being bullied discovers he has a sixth sense that allows him to travel to a parallel universe where humanity is stuck in medieval ages and switch back to reality. He uses his power to get $7 billion to marry his crush, but the government discovers him and want to jail him in Area 51 and kill him, so he must survive in a comedic tale. Hi, I'm John N.C. Fuller, a noble black citizen of LA. My everyday life is the same in the same old dirty room, living with my foster white mother, and my sister who makes my life hell. Well, now I'm on high school, but I've got the feeling this year will be different. I have a sixth sense, don't believe it then watch. John was walking down the staircase of his old school, and got to his room of class, and later during the teaching he saw his crush, Sophia. Well, class was so boring until this happened. Are we real? How do we know we are real? The four-eyed teacher asked, eating an apple, as a daring question. She was an Afro-American young woman wearing a suit, a mother for him. Like if a blind deaf person doesn't know there's people who see and hear, teacher, and none tell them ever. They will believe their world is not made of those senses, teacher said, leaving the apple in the table and sitting down, but here the story is different with 5 senses. How do we prove there ain't creatures with a sixth sense? I asked the teacher, but the ring sounded leavin' the cliffhanger. Go to take a break then come back and tell me your own opinions, teacher said trying to be intelligent. In the lunch area John was there bored, sitting in a chair all alone, watching his crush. Then the bully Billy came. Hey you, come here and punch me. John punched him as the rest of the boys watched in awe. You just said me to punch you, John said. You are dead, the rest of the boys said. John runned and the boys runned, the teacher screamed and some boys stopped. John hid under a dumpster and just wished he had a sixth sense in which we would be able to do stuff, more intelligent than some creeps. As the boys passed by the dumpster, John's dumpster appeared to disappear in numbers, arrays, and black of void. Reality was breaking apart. John was in the void and could see the boys through the number holes, 'cause the holes were too big. He screamed, but boys feared and looked in the dumpster. John looked at a boy, but the boy was scraping apart from reality, and when the boys looked at John he was not complete. They could see he had like half body cut off. The boys runned and John screamed and feared so much that he passed away. John woke up in the night, and as the crickets buzzed, he looked at the world around him and himself. He was entirely fine. They were entirely fine. He guessed all must have been a dream, and he must just have been hallucinating and all. That's it, no mo drugs. He woke up and got out the dumpster, and there was Nicky, a homeless man sleeping in a dumpster nearby. Hey, yo Yuth, how's doing everything? Nicky said, getting out of the dumpster. Nothing, I just had quite a dream this night, sleeping in the dumpster nearby. Nicky said, standing up collecting a couple of cans nearby. That's Robert's dumpster, he is a drug addict and he is crazy. Maybe he just passed all that craziness to you. I don't think so, this was different and looked so real, he said. The question is, what is really real? Nicky said. I don't know, but catch you around. He left as Nicky stood watching, seeing him go. In his home on Salem's lot, in that little small house, he climbed a tree and got into his house and jumped in through the window to not be noticed and take a shower secretly, maybe. But his big sister Ellie catched him up. You stink, are you on drugs or what? Let's do this square, to be clean, to be legit. I'm just gonna take a shower and none knows nothing about nothing including you, he said. I think that'd be $50 in total, sir, she said. I don't have no money, he said. But as they chatted and chatted, his mom, Julia, catched them up. So this is how you are, Johnny, you are a shame to the entire community, Julia said, very angry. Since when do we care about community, he said, putting his coat down, when you only care about getting the juice out of it. You are grounded, Julia said, you know. Ellie left saying, too boring to care. And what happened to you, by the way? Julia said. To me? Nothing, he said, trying to walk to the bathroom. I am just getting bullied, I guess. You don't, you brutally punched a guy in your break and ran away from school, Julia said, crossing her arms. Is this normal? Define normal, he said. After a break of silence. I don't know, but just go and take a shower. But I am taking all of your allowance for the next year, Julia said, reassuring. Then what do I do, he said. Be a better person and control your powers God gave you, Julia said, double-edging the sword. He nodded his head as he went to the bathroom. He was taking a really peaceful shower, singing Over the Rainbow and all until. He looked and started seeing these holes through the walls, again. How is this possible? Is this a problem in the rendering of the world? He closed his eyes and looked again, but everything was normal. He left the bathroom, obviously clothed, and walked towards his room, but as he was walking up the stairs, his mom interrupted. What are you gonna do? Julia said. Do homework, he said. You evaded the class, don't you remember? So what now? Julia said, looking over the stairs. What now? What is this about? He said. Stop with you, and come here and help me, she said. Help me taking out the trash and go out of my sight. A grabbed the trash and went outside to take it, but when he went his towel fell off and Robert was there and started laughing, watching around while looking neighbors' trash bags. Give me your trash, man, and I can go home and look at it very well there, Robert said. In peace. I know there's something important in here. Robert touched the trash. Here you go. Anything strange there, just comment on me, he said. Yeah, whatever. He returned home and went up the stairs and crossed with Ellie. How's the suntan? Ellie said. I'm just gonna call someone important, he said. Let me guess, is it Sophia McCreary? Ellie said. Yes, just leave me alone in this one. You can't handle a woman, Ellie said. I can do it, I have a big dick, he said. Then show it to me, Ellie said. You are crazy, he said, going away from her to his room. I better get to my room now. Let's not talk about it. He left and Ellie left and he called Sophia. Hello, Sophia, around there? Who are you looking for? Sophia said. Is Sophia available for communication? He said. Hey, don't you know what you did? She said. I know it and very well, and I have no regrets, of which there are few of which I'm certain, he said, singing My Friend. Stop, why are you calling me? She said. Can I come around your crib? He said. Are you kidding? It's like 12 am, and I was sleeping tight and awesome until you turned up to be not the annoying pizza boy, she said. Just kidding, but can you email me the class notes? He said. Of course, make sure to check your sperm, she said. I mean, spam folder, you know. He worked the homework through and went to school, but as we supposed and expected, something happened. John and the boys are banned and only accepted in online class for the rest of your life, teacher said. Well, he deserves it, Mom said to him. I'll go to the bathroom, he said. For what? To refresh your mind? Billy said. Yeah, every punch is so refreshing, he said, punching Billy a couple of times in the face until Billy passed out, resting on the floor. You are expelled from our school with no opportunity to appeal, the teacher said, grabbing him, stopping him by the arm. Pass it him to me, Julia said. I'm gonna bring him to a psychologist. A sexy psychologist, he said. He needs to be locked up in an asylum, Billy said, holding up his nose, going away from the action. Teacher, you've got the final word, Julia said. An asylum for 1 year, teacher said. John was transferred to an asylum on an island nearby in California. He entered the rooms which none will exit, but as he did he had a hope for a future that will never come true. This was the last day the sun shined, because day after day in that sanatorium rainy weather hit the surface of the earth. He was as exhausted as crazy cause he knew the world around him was not normal at all. Finally, the doctor arrived to give him a foreword. Hello, Mr. McFuller, said the male old doctor, sitting down the chair. As he stood in his bed, doctor whispered, Are you from German ancestry or what? Silence prevailed. Can you sit down and communicate your feelings? The doctor rapped. He needed the punch, John said, sitting down looking at the floor. I punched him because he is a bullying psychopath and he needed it. And I am not afraid of no crap. AC said, You gotta kill. What do gotta kill? Do you capitch? I clearly do, but you are not going to stay in any school around with that little attitude of yours, he said. To be frank, do you want to be a waste of society? All people are a waste of society, 'cause all of us never enjoy life to our limits, Jay quoted. The doctor said, What? No. We are enjoying a benefit we were supposed to be mistaken, he said. I think that's all the time we have for today, the doctor said. Don't we have infinite time? He said as the doctor stopped when he was trying to leave. In terms of a society, John said. The doctor left in doubt and time passed by. His family visited him one afternoon unexpectedly. I hope the shrink can help you to be the real you, bro, Ellie said back with the serious humor. You bitch, he said. Easy, we are here to bring you the supplies, Julia said. Ellie said, If you don't need nothing we are long gone, brother. What's this, he said. Nothing, well, just can you see? Ellie said. I want the supplies, he said, looking at a box full of good-looking supply elements. But you gotta behave, Julia said. Wow, okay, whatever you say, but I ain't gonna be stuck in here. He went back to the block again, the block of cells, in that sanatorium. He watched girls full of demons, psychopathics, old men, witches, Satanist, of everything a bit. But you know what, nothing of this matters if Sophia ain't with him. As he lost his hope, and tried to find a way to escape the pain, he couldn't find anything to end his miserable life. He didn't know what to do until the doctor came along. Doctor said, Sophia waiting nearby. He went running and went to Sophia, who was waiting in the visiting room. Hi, what do you do? He said. I'm just visiting you, she said. Now that there's no good ending and there's not an exit, I want to be frank with you, he said. I loved you all from the start. I always knew it, she said, but the thing is, how can I love you if you are a psychopath? How can I be normal if you don't love me? He said. Stop this conundrum. You are trapped in here forever and we'll never meet again, she said. This is just not possible. If it ain't possible, then what is possible? He said. Nothing but a thing you cannot neither fix nor complain, she said. He passed away and the doctors arrived as Sophia walked away in an blurry world. John woke up in his room, half naked, half clothed, but still alive. He didn't want to talk with none but to stay in the dark. He tried to gaze through the ceiling, but instead another paralyzing effect took towards him. He sweated and coughed, and later everything stopped running down, but not, 'cause the world splitted and deformed. He could see every single drop up of matter of every dimension scattered through space. He had gone and could finally control the fourth dimension. He moved his perception of reality out of his body to remain centered in the supposed real dimension, while watching traces of all the existent real three-dimensional worlds. He traveled to a different dimension where there was war going through, and the asylum was an abandoned warehouse, but when he saw the nuclear bomb coming through the window and approaching closer, he switched to another dimension. In this one, he was in the Middle Ages near a village surrounded by wheat fields, nature as far as the eye could see, and a pond of crystal water where villagers were carrying the water to the villag, kids were playing and people were laughing. And it was always of day. A teenager girl came near him and told him, "Countless amounts of dimensions are unsafe. There's no safer dimension than this one, she said. There are not humans here except from the ones in the village. My name is John McFuller, he said. What's yours? Imomegal, she said. There was a large village which was made out of only women, hunting, gathering, and cooking. Why are there only women? John asked, but the world broke apart, and the village and girl disappeared. Is this all an illusion? A voice inside his head told him to use the fourth-dimensional vision superpower that he could use to watch one third-dimensional space's framework overlapping into the third-dimensional space he was in. He concentrated and used the vision superpower to allow him to see the framework of the real dimension, but in the medieval dimension. He walked through the supposed wall of the real dimension, but he was walking in the medieval dimension. He came back to the real dimension, but once he was in, he was on the other side of the wall. Never none had escaped that sanatorium, but a guard watched him with the lights, and saw him as he moved. The light remained in place as he hid. The guard came near when the guard was about to look at the other side of the wall. John went to the medieval dimension to disappear from the real dimension. The guard looked, said, "I am imagining things," and left. John came back from the medieval dimension. He went running and passed through the fence, switching to the alternate dimension as he walked out of hell. He listened to the sirens indicating his escape. He was free, and a slave with a great power and a great responsibility. He went to Sophia's home on St. Boulevard, sit in the medieval dimension, to avoid the dangers of being found. It was a nice home kind of apartment. He switched dimensions and crossed the main door of the house. Her mother Melissa was asleep, and up there in one room, Sophia was in the bathroom bathing. Getting the opportunity, he crossed the door and hid behind the toilet while she bathed herself. He wanted to spy on her, so he went to another dimension, got a good angle and activated the fourth dimension vision, and watched her bath. It was so good that he couldn't resist and said, "You're the most beautiful." But none heard that in the real dimension, because sounds can't travel through interdimensional spaces, right? He started to get so aroused that he changed the current dimension to the real one, without noticing. Ah, Sophia screamed at seeing John half naked in her bathtub with a bunch of wheat from the other dimension. "You're going to prison." John put his hand on her mouth and told her, "Hey, I'm real okay." He said, "I can travel to the fourth dimension and switch between different 3D spaces, realms, things." "I don't believe you," she said. "Watch," he said, and teleported away out of thin air to another three-dimensional world. Then he came back. "Now you believe?" Sophia was astonished to believe. Sophia said, "No, I can bring things too, I think," he said, showing her the grass he brought from the other dimension. Melissa knocked on the door to see if everything was all right. Sophia put a towel under her chest and said, "The water was too hot, but I fixed it." "Okay," Sophia said. Melissa, yeah, she left. Sophia said, "We are rich," she said. 'Cause you can steal money from anyone, when none is watching, and getting away taking it to an alternate path in another universe. Yeah, we are rich, baby, he said. Don't call me baby, Sophia said. Why not, he said. 'Cause I don't love you yet, she said. So, I can also watch another 3D world from my current third-dimensional dimension, he said. Okay, but one thing, just don't watch me when I am naked, she said. Okay, but we will be rich, baby. So what now, she said. Now that you've escaped the sanatorium, you'll have to live under the shadows, in this three-dimensional world, and keep your secret powers private, she said. Yeah, you don't mind if I lay low with you for a while, he asked. No, as long as money comes in, she said. Name your price, he said. 100K and I'll let you stay with me, she said. How the hell? Just get it, she said. The next day in a shopping mall at night, John was watching through the shadows the news. John McFuller has randomly disappeared and cameras don't show us any logical evidence, the presenter said. How is this possible? There must be something going on in here, Julia said. Ellie, he bribed the shrink. John was set up. The government had the camera footage of the supernatural evidence that he could teleport or disappear or pass through objects, and it wasn't showing it to the public. It would mean the government had other plans. His files were all over Area 51, in the table of a red-skinned, red-eyed general of the army along with other supernatural cases. He was wanted for being a danger to high society's secrets. He had to get this money good and cool. Stealing like 50 grocery stores to get 100K would get him into the retrospective, maybe, but he needed another thing to steal, something big. He thought of stealing Jeff Bezos, following him from the other dimension. Since Jeff attended the conferences, John would look at Jeff's bank password when he would get money out of an ATM. John would steal his card in one way or another and get 100K in hard cash. Even if the cash is traced by microchip, it doesn't matter. The problem is, ATM machines scan the serial numbers of bills dispensed. But the plan would go wrong because John couldn't get Jeff's cash in a random ATM while Jeff is being recorded in a conference. He needed to follow the coder of PayPal and hack him, studying his code, taking notes of all the protocols. He stole a car from one dimension to the medieval one, so he could move faster through the world. He broke into a house in a little town without cameras and stole paper and pencil, and some other helpful resources. He went and followed the PayPal coder, Max, and studied his algorithms for a month. He got some disguising clothes and a mask, and teleported to the guy who was in a plane going for vacations in Aruba and stole his phone. John jumped out of the place, and when he was going to hit the concrete, he switched dimensions and fell in the pond. All of it was planned, and the guy went to Aruba without his everything. He grabbed the phone and hacked his way all through the system, killing the guards in his penthouse. He impersonated Max, hacked all the cameras off, and got to his personal computer. Pasted a whole bunch of code and erased data misinformation and escaped going to the medieval dimension. Later, when Max was returning to LA unaware, his guards were killed and the computer hacked. He walked to Max's car and John teleported in the next chair to him and killed him with 2 rounds. John went to Area 51 and edited the data logarithm of the savings of all Americans. The secret agents announced in Area 51 that the teleporting guy had hacked the ultimate PayPal algorithm and had killed Max and his guards, and nobody knows anything about PayPal algorithms, none other than Max. But nothing, because Max's phone and PC disappeared and turned off, and the last location was in Max's same home. The cameras show John stealing Max's phone in the plane, but he just jumped out onto plain concrete, which strengthened the assumption that John was a kind of teleporter. But after having hacked PayPal, why is none getting rich? John returned back to Sophia and later appeared in her room when she was naked. John, I told you to not do this, Sophia said, covering herself with a blanket. Jay, I've been hours watching you. I think this friendship will end, she said. John said, perhaps you'd love me if I gave you $7 billion. Then we are talking, she said, astonished of herself. Because I gave them to you, John said. Show me the paper, she said. I cannot show, you must believe, he said. I changed your little PayPal account under the name of you. He said. You have the same money as you may see, but you can determine that in reality, you have $6 billion plus your money you had before. I just took a little debt with all the people of the world without actually informing them, and they didn't notice it. I took $1 out of each bank account in Earth and transferred it to you. But in the balance of every single person, nothing has changed in the interface. Not even in your account has changed. All is written behind the metadata, the real data. And I am sure you can spend it. Because I have been in Area 51 and took out any tracing towards your account. In there it actually reads to be an average account since the day you made your account. So when you spend your money, and the account from Area 51 doesn't drastically update. But the $1 from each person is not noticed. What I mean is that you are legitimately rich and undercover. Sophia smiled, giving John a hug. Melissa opened the door, she heard everything. Sophia almost had a heart attack and was going to die, so John just grabbed Melissa and made Melissa kill herself with a 9 yen. You just killed my mother, Sophia said. It was a legitimate suicide, John said. We're rich and we need no witnesses. Okay, but we're only friends now, Sophia said, touching her mother's corpse. Go away, I'm calling the cops. John went to Area 51 to watch the meetings. John cannot create a bank account for himself, the colonel said. There must be someone here who he can trust, search and capture all his family, and all the people in the surroundings. Area 51 doesn't know his power, colonel said. He is almighty, and we cannot stop PayPal only because of a suspicion, 'cause if then, the system would collapse, and people will be afraid of everything. John will be the cause of the doomsday come true. The government brought his mother Julia and all of John's school friends. All were attached to a chair, blinded, and with high-tech earplugs that could deafen them when they wanted. Where is Sophia? General said, his voice altering, getting angry and red. Here she is, a soldier said. You're late, the general said to Sophia. Sorry, but I've just lost my mother due to suicide, and was attending the funeral, Sophia said. I don't care. So why are you all here in Area 51? General said, to help us capture John McFuller, who is a danger to the society, who is probably using one of you as your carrier. To grab stinking money. We'll give you $1 million if you keep this case a secret and comply. Don't comply, and you and all your friends will be tortured and killed, not before mutating their DNA in Area 51 for leaning purposes. Everyone agreed. General gave everyone $1 million to each one, and the cash accounts updated automatically with the exception of Sophia's account, which just updated 1 second after. The tech expert said, this is strange, but they don't pay me for this. General, so, we'll ask each one and every one of you, who was John's closest friend, starting with you, Julia. The power went off and everything went pitch black for a second. Nikki appeared out of nowhere. I am too John's friend, give me money, Nikki said. How did this man get in? Guards aimed their guns. Graham, look at the cameras. Nothing, sir. Get him outta here. I've seen him with John before, a neighbor boy said. Okay, we cannot give you money cause you don't have bank account. I just forgot the password and name, Nikki said. Forget it, this man is a distraction, get him out. My name is Nikki. Nikki was put out. So as I said, General said, John loved his beloved ones. Everything went pitch black again, and before they knew, Nikki held a minigun and super hard army armor, and shot every single guard as John was there too, covering exits with turrets from the army. After every single soldier died, and the colonel was trying to hide, Colonel appeared out of nowhere and removed John's helmet, trying to shoot him. Colonel ran out of bullets and John too. John punched the colonel, but the colonel made a comeback and took over him. When the colonel was going to thrust his knife in his throat, Nikki shot the colonel dead. Thanks, John said. Now make me ruler of my own dimension, said Nikki. Okay. John teleported Nikki to the afterlife in another 3D dimension, where he could rule that dimension as a medieval king and return to kill soldiers, except for Sophia and friends. He brought them to the same place in Area 51, but in a medieval dimension. He went back to the real dimension, put explosives and blew the heck outta Area 51, leaving no soldiers to get evidence. He returned to the medieval dimension and cut down ropes and removed a covering sheet. They saw he had an almighty car, which he had prepared to travel from place to place. Sophia, where are we? John, medieval times, no humans, another 3D dimension. Julia, I don't think I cannot survive without money. John grabbed a bag from the car, full of money. In here there's 200K all for you, but money ain't worth nothing here, so take it all, John said. Julia was angry. Ellie, I cannot live without social media and my friends. We can invent social media here, and I can bring you here all the friends you want, all the money you want, to satisfy even your inner deeper dream desires, he said. But we gotta move on. Why, Sophia said. 'Cause we're still in Area 51, John said. We gotta get in the car and go to the house I built expecting the doomsday. The day when we were going to be expelled from Earth as our main dimension. You mean you can't bring us back, Julia said. Yeah, but that's no home no more, John said. I cannot erase those recordings of mine, do I? That would mean destroying countless of millions of evidence buildings, John said, and killing millions of innocent lives. All I want is to live normally, Julia said. Julia and Ellie, that would mean not leaving the evidence that I could teleport. I gotta destroy all the main evidence and wait for one generation new to come. I cannot turn back time. I can only travel through different universes, and this was the most stable, Jay quoted. Unless I nuked all of the US to don't leave any evidence behind, but also killing millions of innocent people, John said, 'cause right now, the police doesn't know all of my classmates, or any of us are relatively dead. Nuke the USA then, Sophia said, missiles from North Korea. Or missiles from USA to USA, John said. I've been studying the military base in my free time, and I can make a suicide mission. A distraction to be free, Sophia said. Julia, are you out of your mind? Ellie, my friends, it's either that or the police will discover a pattern that we are the only survivors, and will link you to me. Destroyla then, Julia said. He drove to the nuke colonel's house, went to the real universe, killed him and cut his finger and got his eyes. He went to a military base in the medieval universe and went to the real universe, breaking in, as the colonel, and killing, with suppressor rifles, all people in the way. He nuked all of California and Nevada, just to be sure, and went back to the medieval universe. All of California and Nevada got destroyed, and so the lives of millions of people and evidence. They drove to the border between Oregon, and Julia, Ellie and Sophia teleported to the real universe where they disguised as survivors of the nuked land. After 2 months, Julia and Ellie were in Seattle, while Sophia and John were in Jackson, Wyoming, making a new life. News about John never came out ever again because probably it was a photoshed video made by the clinic. Or maybe because people didn't care as much as they did about the investigation about the suicide bombings from South America. John and the whole family were rich secretly and with almost all evidence destroyed. And John lived happily ever after with Sophia, hidden from the law in a farm,